Inside these walls, and something wasn't human anymore. Obedience replaced emotion. And one man had just walked into it. This is where it begins. From the very first hour inside the palace, James felt it. A wrongness that clung to the walls like mold. It wasn't the disciplined silence of a military base. It wasn't the stiff quiet of strict protocol. It was an unnatural stillness, the kind that prickled beneath his skin. No one spoke. Not a whisper. Not a greeting. Not even the casual banter guards usually couldn't live without. Servants drifted past with empty eyes. Guards marched like wind-up dolls. Workers moved in identical rhythm, faces wiped clean of emotion. They didn't look at one another, didn't react, didn't flinch. The palace wasn't haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by silence. James was part of a batch of 45 new guards. Soon they were lined up in the security hall to meet the man everyone quietly feared, Thompson Theodore, chief of palace security. But nobody dared use that long, clumsy name. Inside these walls, he was simply Mr. TT. The moment TT entered, James's pulse sprinted. Sweat pooled behind his collar as the chief walked the line, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. When he stopped in front of James, the world shrank to just the two of them. 5 minutes of TT staring straight into him, into Carl, like he could peel back skin and memories to find the truth underneath. James stood frozen, fighting the rage clawing inside his chest, the old terror chewing at his spine. Finally, TT moved on, delivered a cold rundown of duties, and dismissed them. Later, James overheard the veterans whispering among themselves, the kind of whispers done only when they were sure no cameras were watching. TT works till you break. Doesn't matter how loyal you are. People here die from training overload, or they disappear, just vanish, poof, gone. A chill slithered down James's back. Assignments were posted the next day. James and Harper were placed in the East Wing. Eva joined the high-tech surveillance division. Mark, the golden boy, landed the most coveted and dangerous position, security detail for the king. James hated it. The East Wing was useless to him. Library, auditorium, guest villas, nothing that brought him closer to the king, the palace core, or the truth. Mark had the position James craved, the position that edged close to his final target. He kept everything buried behind a neutral face. That evening, they met for dinner. The hall buzzed with clinking plates, but James couldn't shake the feeling he was in the wrong place. He smiled anyway, reciting a carefully fabricated backstory. Harper dominated the table, firing jokes like confetti. When she poked fun at Eva's family, Eva's fingers tightened around her fork. A tiny spasm, a crack in her calm, before she forced a polite laugh. James caught it, but as before, he pretended he didn't. After dinner, James reported to the East Wing with Harper. Their team consisted of 6 guards, Harper and James as newcomers, 4 veterans under a strict captain. Harper lobbed a few routine questions about the wing, entrances, blind spots, protocols, and their captain answered. But something about his answers didn't line up with the intel James had collected years ago. Something in the captain's posture, his tone, his eyes. James felt it immediately. Something was wrong there. Very wrong. Days slipped by. James did what he always did. Observed, memorized, calculated. One detail stood out. A court lady from the Queen's inner circle visited the East Wing library every day. He wanted to approach her, talk, gather intel, anything. But the rules were ironclad. Royal guards weren't to speak to any royal representative without direct permission. On the surveillance side, Eva noticed something strange. TT roaming across different palace zones, interrogating random workers, stepping out of the palace unexpectedly. At first, she thought he was checking security flaws, but then she connected the dots. He was running background checks on all 45 new recruits. And on the king's front, Mark finally got what James longed for. A close look at the heart of power. The king, the queen, their heir, the princess. He worked near them daily, absorbing the rhythms of their lives, the patterns of the kingdom's core. The king's detail was always the busiest, always alert, always watched. James kept his emotions locked tight, but his mission had officially begun.